So we got the U.S. Open Cup coming up, starting tonight, actually. And there's a huge slate of games. There's a lot of interesting games. And I think this is another opportunity for the USL to showcase its talent. It's another opportunity for the USL to showcase its brand to the American public. Because when it comes to soccer in general, traditional football is still not a popular sport. And because it's not a popular sport, there's many people who believe that the only league that exists in America is Major League Soccer. So this is a good opportunity for the USL to showcase its brand, showcase its talent. And I just think it's good for the growth of traditional football in general. I believe the U.S. Open Cup been around for over 100 years. And in between, like throughout time, I'm sure there's probably been some pauses and, of course, a lot of changes and evolution of the cup in general. But this year, I think the tournament already started, but this week is the week where the MLS teams get involved. Like not only like the MLS 2 teams, but I think it's just like MLS in general. I think this is the week where MLS teams are involved in the cup. They start this week. So there's going to be some interesting matchups. The one in particular that's going to be on a lot of people's radar is San Diego versus LA Galaxy. Now, the reason why a lot of people are going to be paying close attention to that, because the San Diego team, which is part of the USL Championship League, is head coached by American soccer legend Landon Donovan. And Landon Donovan used to play for LA Galaxy. Now that game's that's gonna be a nighttime game. If you're on the East Coast, that's gonna be like 10:30. In the Mountain, that's 8:30. West Coast, 7:30. So that's gonna be like the evening game. That's gonna be the game that a lot of people are paying attention to. You got both Miami teams going against each other. You got the Miami FC team of the USL going against the Inter Miami team of the MLS. You got Detroit Columbus. That looks like a good regional matchup. Chicago Fire Omaha. That's another regional matchup. That should be interesting. Bay Cities FC versus San Jose. So even though this is a good opportunity for the USL to showcase its talent, it's just good for American traditional football in general, American soccer in general. The one player that I wish we were going to be able to see, but we won't be able to see, is Danny Trejo of the Las Vegas Lights. Danny Trejo is the next American superstar. That's if he stays in America. That's if he's not recruited by La Liga or Liga MX or Bundesliga or the Premier League. If you haven't heard of him, his name is Danny Trejo from the Las Vegas Lights, the USL Championship League. I believe Las Vegas is eliminated from this tournament because they lost to Tucson last week. So that's why Las Vegas is not playing today or tomorrow. But I also want to see other superstars. Like, what other superstar there are in the USL that has potential to play in the MLS and just dominate? As of right now, all I know is Danny Trejo. That's the main guy that stood out to me so far. And I truly wish that Las Vegas didn't lose last week, so we'll be able to see him play this week. But unfortunately, we won't be able to see him on the national stage against an MLS team. And there's some other questions that I have in regards to this U.S. Open Cup. I think MLS got to be really cautious for players' health. Like, there's so many cups and so many tournaments going on, and then you got to balance that with the regular season. Is it time for the MLS to increase the salary cap? And the salary cap increase will not be it won't be to give players more money, because in my opinion, I think you got to be very careful giving 20-year-olds a lot of money, but that's another monologue for another time. But this is so you can add more players to your roster. Because you have so many tournaments that go on. You got CONCACAF, you got the US Open, you got FIFA tournaments. Then you're going to have the League Cup, the La Liga tournament resuming next year. There's so many tournaments going on, and you don't really have a big roster. Like, I think MLS roster should be as big as the NFL roster. Like, NFL got like 50 players. I think MLS should be similar to that because of these multiple tournaments and because of a lot of the running and a lot of movement that players do on the soccer field. Like, you can divide them. You can have like team A, team B, team C, and these teams, it won't determine who's the best players. Team A won't mean that Team A wouldn't mean that all of the best players are on Team A, then Team B is the second best group of players, and then Team C is the third best group of players. No, it won't be about that. You have different teams so you can have specific players. Like, we're saving these group of players for a CONCACAF tournament, and then we're going to save these other group of players for US Open tournament. And then we're going to save another group of players for regular season games. And then for Liga MX, like, you can switch each players around. Like, you can have these groups of teams for specific tournaments, and you can take players in and out of these groups based on your liking, based on how you, the coach and the general manager, want to do things. I think that will help save your key players from injuries. So your key players won't have to play in regular season games or tournaments that may not be as important at the moment. That's just my opinion. Anyhow, this is good for the growth of American traditional football. And I'm just looking to see who in the USL, which player in the USL is going to use this opportunity to shine on the national stage. Because, we're all watching. I'm sure the MLS will be recruiting players. I'm sure other leagues in Europe, in Mexico, they'll also be recruiting players during this US Open Cup. So it's a great opportunity for USL players to showcase their talents, and it's a good opportunity for the USL to showcase its brand.